Rolando Meriño was born on February 27, 1978, in Havana, Cuba. As a young boy in a city steeped in baseball culture, Meriño was introduced to the sport early in life. In Cuba, baseball is not just a game, it is a way of life, and the streets of Havana served as the backdrop for many aspiring athletes. Growing up in this environment, Meriño developed a passion for baseball that was fueled by the country's rich sporting tradition. From an early age, it was clear that he had an exceptional aptitude for the game. And his talent quickly became evident to those around him. Meriño's early exposure to the sport came from family members who were keen baseball fans. His father and uncles, though not professional athletes themselves, would often take him to watch games and teach him the fundamentals. His neighborhood in Havana also had a reputation for nurturing young talent, and Rolando quickly immersed himself in the local baseball scene. As a child, he played with his friends in informal games on the streets and in the park, developing his skills, particularly his natural ability as a catcher. By the time he was 12 years old, Meriño had already joined one of the youth teams in Havana. His prowess behind the plate was undeniable. And his quick reflexes and sharp instincts caught the attention of local coaches. These early years shaped his character and instilled in him a deep understanding of the game. His commitment to hard work and discipline set him on a path toward a professional career. Entry into professional baseball, Cuban National Series. Meriño's journey into the professional ranks began when he joined the renowned Cuban National Series, Cuba's premier professional baseball league. He made his debut in 1997 with the Havana Industriales, one of the most successful and storied teams in Cuban baseball history. At just 19 years old, Meriño was thrust into the spotlight of one of the most competitive leagues in the world. As a young player, Meriño faced immense pressure, but he was up to the challenge. His defensive skills behind the plate immediately stood out. He possessed a strong arm, sharp baseball IQ, and the ability to manage a pitching staff with confidence. His maturity and composure as a catcher, despite his youth, earned him the trust of his pitchers and coaches. It was clear that Meriño had the potential to be one of the top catchers in Cuba. In his first few years in the Cuban National Series, Meriño demonstrated his promise, showcasing his excellent defensive capabilities. Although he was still developing as a hitter, his consistency behind the plate earned him recognition and respect from both teammates and opponents. His ability to frame pitches and control the game from behind the plate helped elevate the performance of his pitchers. Peak of career. Dominance in the Cuban National Series. The peak of Rolando Meriño's career came in the late 1990s and early 2000s when he solidified his reputation as one of the top catchers in the Cuban National Series. His development as a hitter paralleled his growth as a defensive catcher, and he became a more complete player over time. His strong arm and accuracy in throwing out base runners became legendary, while his ability to call games and lead his pitchers to success made him a key part of the Industrial's defensive core. In the early 2000s, Meriño was not only a consistent offensive contributor but also a clutch performer. His bat began to come alive, and he quickly developed into a reliable hitter for the Industriales. Whether he was hitting for average or driving in crucial runs, Meriño's ability to contribute offensively made him even more valuable to his team. His bat and glove were both essential to the Industriales' success during this period, and he became a fixture in the lineup year after year. Throughout his career, Meriño was also known for his leadership. As a catcher, he played a critical role in managing the team's pitchers, providing guidance and ensuring they executed their pitches effectively. His ability to handle high-pressure situations, whether in tight games or during high-stakes moments, helped establish him as one of the most respected figures in Cuban baseball. Main achievements. Rolando Meriño's career is highlighted by several key achievements that marked him as one of the greatest catchers in the history of Cuban baseball. Cuban National Series championships. Over the course of his career, Meriño helped the Havana Industriales win multiple Cuban National Series titles. His leadership on the field and his consistency in both defense and offense were integral to the team's success. Meriño's role as a catcher and his ability to guide the pitching staff were key elements in the Industriales' championship runs. Defensive prowess. Meriño was widely regarded as one of the best defensive catchers in Cuban baseball. His ability to control the running game with his strong arm and quick release made him a nightmare for opposing base runners. He also had a remarkable ability to frame pitches, earning the respect of both pitchers and umpires alike. His defensive excellence earned him numerous Gold Glove awards throughout his career. International success. Meriño was also an important member of the Cuban national team, representing his country in several international competitions. He played in multiple Baseball World Cups, Pan American Games, and Olympic Games, where he helped secure numerous gold medals for Cuba. His performances on the international stage showcased his skills and cemented his reputation as one of the top catchers in the world. Longevity and consistency. Meriño's ability to maintain a high level of play throughout his career is another major achievement. He played in the Cuban National Series for more than 15 years, remaining a regular starter for the Industriales. His longevity in the sport is a testament to his physical conditioning, skill, and dedication to the game. Recognition as a key player in the Industriales history. Meriño's contributions to the success of the Havana Industriales are widely recognized. He became an icon of the team and was celebrated as one of the franchise's most important players. His leadership, defense, and offensive production helped the Industriales remain competitive for years. Final years and retirement. By the mid-2010s, Meriño's career began to slow down as he entered his late 30s. The wear and tear of professional baseball, particularly as a catcher, started to take a toll on his body. Despite facing challenges with his health, Meriño remained a valuable asset to the Industriales, providing leadership both on and off the field. In his final years with the Industriales, Meriño transitioned into a more mentoring role. He helped guide younger catchers and shared his vast knowledge of the game. Although he wasn't playing at the same level as he once had, he remained a key figure in the locker room, offering wisdom and support to the next generation of players. In 2016, after nearly 2 decades of playing at the highest level, Rolando Meriño announced his retirement from professional baseball. His departure marked the end of an era for the Industriales, as he had been a cornerstone of the team for many years. His legacy as one of the greatest catchers in Cuban baseball history was secure. After retiring from professional baseball, Meriño stayed involved with the sport, taking on roles as a coach and mentor for aspiring players. He also spent time with his family and enjoyed a quieter life outside of the spotlight. Though he remained a beloved figure in the Cuban baseball community, Meriño's contributions to Cuban baseball will never be forgotten. His work ethic, leadership, and passion for the game set a standard for future generations of players. His name is etched into the history of the Cuban National Series and the Cuban national team, and his impact on the sport is immeasurable. Legacy and impact. Rolando Meriño's legacy as one of the top catchers in Cuban baseball is undeniable. He was known not only for his defensive prowess and leadership but also for his ability to excel in high-pressure situations. Meriño's career was defined by his work ethic, his passion for the game, and his unwavering commitment to excellence. His name is synonymous with success in Cuban baseball, and his contributions to the sport will be remembered for years to come. Through his work as a mentor and coach, Meriño continues to influence the next generation of Cuban baseball players. His legacy lives on through the players he mentored, the lessons he taught, and the many games in which he led by example. Whether in the batter's box or behind the plate, Meriño was always a player who could be counted on to perform when it mattered most. His place in the annals of Cuban baseball history is secure, and his impact on the sport will be felt for generations.